Hello everybody, happy Sunday. How's everybody today? I'll be doing some front porch sitting, but it's a little overcast. It's kind of dark on the porch. So I'm out here in a little bit of light, just saying. So I said on my last video there I was going to get to the National Defense Authorization Act. Here is my take. Now this got out of committee with a 58-1 bipartisan vote. All ready to hit the floor and pass it, right? Until a few hours later when the MAGA maniacs got at it and decided to tear it apart. Anything to do with diversity, inclusion, or equality, because heaven forbid, only white evangelicals are entitled, right? It's just sickening. But anyway, all those things were all in place till they decided to go in and tear it apart, because 58-1 bipartisan, that's how it's supposed to go every other time since 1910 when this shit started. It's always been bipartisan. It's always gone through on the first vote. Carry on, let's get on with the rest of our day. Not so much anymore. MAGA maniacs, just saying. So all that stuff was all agreed to, and then all of a sudden culture wars and that woke bullshit got in the way. 4 Democrats ended up voting with the Republicans. So it was a 219 to 210 vote. Adam Smith from Washington said, I take solace in the fact that this is not going to become law, because when it goes to the Senate, it's going to get kicked back. And we have the opportunity to correct it. He's the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. But it is really disturbing how divisive all this has become, to a degree in which the Republican majority wants to attack diversity. The bottom line is attack trans people, attack women, and attack people of color. The ultra-maggots are impressed with themselves, like Kevin Hearn from Oklahoma, and he said, this is the first Republican-only National Defense Authorization Act since Eisenhower. Did he forget that there was 4 Democrats that went across the floor to vote with them friggers? Just saying. But then again, 4 Republicans came over to the Democrat side to vote, so I don't know. Now McCarthy has the balls to stand up there and say, well, I guess 210 Democrats don't want pay raises for the military. Well, of course they do. That's why they all agreed to the first round of that thing until the MAGA maniacs got in there. Now, I'm just grateful that some of this shit, like these amendments that they're putting in, aren't going to make it. It's going to get kicked back for sure. Just like they wanted, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that the U.S. had to pull away from NATO. That's one of her amendments. Now, they just have this thing, and I don't know if they're glorifying or not, but they just love Putin, Kim Jong-un, and Xi. And those 3 individuals themselves, Jong-un, Xi, and Putin, they're giddy stupid listening to this stuff. They're giddy stupid. The Russians are already pouring millions into Donald Trump there to get him elected because he's terrified of Biden. But then again, they do like pleasing a term for life authoritarian. They like that. They're communist bosses. They're digging it. Now, Malmstrom Air Force Base. I actually did some temporary duty there. Actually broke my leg in a fabulous bar. They had a big shotgun and everything laying on the bar. And I can't remember the name of it, but I broke my leg in the parking lot there and had to go to the base hospital. Just saying. So I know a little bit about Malmstrom. But Malmstrom Air Force Base, says Republican Rosedale, is having drag shows. And there are 150 ICBM missiles there. Are you supposed to tell them how many missiles that are at the site? I'm not sure that's a thing. Anyway, that are being controlled by that Air Force Base. I don't want someone who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman with their hand on the missile button. Do you actually think that some drag queen is just going to sashay up to that missile launch site and put their fingers on those buttons? Do you actually think that's a thing? Like, I was in the military, in full uniform, on a tour. I had 2 staff sergeants with me. They took me down this road there to the missile launch site, so they showed everything. We got stopped by guards with guns drawn. So I'm pretty sure some stranger is not going to get anywhere near them because they say they shoot first. Ask questions later. So that is total. Well, yeah, mental, if that's what you're worried about, don't worry about it. It's not a thing. Anna Paulina Luna, I didn't find anything in my pocket constitution that says we need to fund humanitarian aid to women and children in Afghanistan. Really? Well, maybe you should have looked at your human kindness book and found something in there. Sydney Camlogger Dud. Dove, I screwed her name up. I know I did. But after she heard a bunch of this stuff like Maggoty Traitor saying, if our Defense Department wants to defend America, we should be defending our border and not proclaiming our righteousness, talking about a war in Ukraine. Dove stood up and said, first of all, I require an Advil. And then she passed her time to another frigging congresswoman. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, Amendment 6, the president is to withdraw the United States from NATO. They are not a reliable partner whose defense spending should be paid for by our citizens. For the better part of the last decade, Germany has contributed around 1% GDP, and the U.S. is paying around 4%. Really? That's regurgitated mango moose knuckle turd. That's what that is. That's regurgitated. And then she says item 7 prohibits F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. Really? It will not only deplete our own fighter fleet, but will escalate the proxy war with the Russians, which is a nuclear power, rather than going to a diplomatic solution. First of all, you huge bag of stupid. F-16 Falcons, fabulous, fabulous fighter jet. Fabulous. I prefer an F-14 Tomcat. That's just me. Well, anyway, there are over 1,000 Falcons in service in the United States of America today as we speak. However, F-16s that Ukraine are getting are older versions. And guess what, Maggoty, you bag of rocks? They're not coming from the United States. Allied fleets worldwide, mostly from Western European countries, are giving some of theirs because there happens to be a surplus. You special bag of stupid. Do your fucking homework before you flap your yap, will you? And by diplomatic solutions, she means give Russia Ukraine and we'll be done with it. The fighting will be over. Because she's stupid. Just saying. So that's my take on that. I want everybody to have a fabulous rest of your day. Be good, be safe, be good to you. Hit the like. Share it around a bit, and please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you. Naughty Nana loves you. Happy Sunday, y'all.